Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody out there. And welcome to our global virtual launch event of Saloodo. My name is Thomas Grunau and I'm the CEO of Saloodo. Today we have a landmark in our history of Saloodo. We have just seen a tremendous journey Saloodo has taken over the past years, and we are going to celebrate this today. With today's global launch of Saloodo, we are active in 4 continents in over 50 countries. With this, Saloodo is the most international digital road freight platform in the world. Today, we are going to see a lot of interesting elements of Saloodo and with different flavors. So first, I will talk to Uwe Brinks, our CEO of DHL Freight, about the importance of Saloodo for the DHL Freight business. And then with Amadou Diallo, as a founder and big supporter of Saloodo, as well as in his function as the CEO of DHL Global Forwarding in Middle East Africa, and he will share his thoughts around Saloodo, about the idea and how it has developed so far. After that, Elaine Tan, the CTO of Saloodo, is going to join me here on stage, and she will demo the feature highlights of our new global platform. And of course, operations is very important, and I have the pleasure to conduct an interview with Anja Kappus, our CEO of Saloodo, and Tobias Meyer, who is the CEO of Saloodo Middle East Africa, explaining the advantages our global platform brings for shippers as well as carriers from a market perspective. Last but not least, you will have the chance to raise your questions. So we will do an extensive Q&A session at the end. And with this, we will answer all the questions that you might have around our new platform. In this Q&A session, we're happy to answer all your questions, and you can send these questions already now while we are in the studio here. So just type in your questions on the right side of your screen, and we would also appreciate if you basically tell us your name when you post a message, but this is not mandatory. Of course, you don't have to. So with this, it's my pleasure to welcome Uwe Brinks, CEO of DHL Freight, and Amadou Diallo as the regional CEO of DHL Global Forwarding Middle East Africa and founder of Saloodo. Uwe, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. And hello everybody.
Hi. So this launch of Saloodo is really a big step. Did you expect actually that one day Saloodo will be introduced on a global scale?
That's a difficult question to answer because remembering the time as we started in 4 years ago, it was really impressive. Based on really new experiences with the new colleagues there. And at the end of the day, 2 worlds are coming together. On the one hand, the new startup with completely different behavior as we did in the traditional company, DPDHL, with a long history and long traditions. So, and the first steps, it was a lot of learning for both parties, so to speak. So that means, on the one hand, all the rules and guidelines and governance structures, and on the other hand, so then the new feeling of a startup with young people, very empathic, and to develop something new. So it was a tremendous development, and now everybody of the team should be very proud of this. To be part of the team and about the results we developed together and we achieved together until now. And now it's really a great moment for everybody in DPDHL as well as in Saloodo. And I'm really happy about this tremendous development.
So how important is Saloodo for the business of DHL Freight?
Yeah, that's also a good question because at the beginning of Saloodo, we had a lot of thoughts. Is it the right strategic step to go to be the spearhead of the new movement and to be one of the first movers developing a platform, a completely digitalized platform, coming more or less from a traditional business as a freight forwarder? but I think it was the right step at the right time, because we learned a lot and we get really new contacts. We had the chance and we have the chance to get to know new carriers, to get to know new segments of customers. And yeah, it's really, we have really the chance to be more or less omnipresent with Saloodo on the one hand, and on the other hand, we have really the chance to get a broader coverage than with only our traditional business.
Great. So what are your thoughts around why is digitalization in logistics becoming essential?
I think it's not only essential for logistics, and I think the current challenging times are really a very good example that we really have to learn our lessons and that we really have to improve digitalization all over the world. Look at the schools, look at the working places at home with the home offices and all the other things around. And logistics is part of this moving world, and we have to find the right answers for the current challenges. And for example, also for an not physical handover of freight documents and all the other things around our shipments, digitalization is core business for us. And I think that's also the chance to have the startup and the startup mentality of the Saloodo team also for the future, and then to create the future together.
Great. Thank you, Uwe. Thank you for joining us here at the Saloodo Global Launch event.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
So we have heard about what the new global Saloodo platform actually means for the Deutsche Post DHL Group. But Amadou Diallo set the ball rolling in 2016. And he is currently in Dubai as our regional CEO of DHL Global Forwarding. And of course, he follows Saloodo very closely. So we want to hear from him what he thinks about Saloodo becoming so successful in such a short time and what he actually sees going forward. So we have pre-recorded this message earlier this morning.
Saloodo, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank all the customers, shippers who have registered and are attending our conference. I also would like to thank all the suppliers and carriers who have registered to the platform and are working towards ensuring that we are living in a much better digitized world. So the idea of Saloodo, as you know, was born out of a small garage on top of the freight building with 5 people working on it. I think that only 2 out of those 5 that are still in the organization. And the idea was actually to try and digitize the way we do shipping on road. And we started doing it in a small village called Menden in Iserlohn. That's a lost village in Germany. And I'm very proud to report that now it's a platform that is active in over 20 countries in Africa already, sort of live. And then and we are now going to the next mile. And what it means is that real-time logistics, which is our tagline, or being smart, fast, and reliable, which is the enablers that are being put in place into the system so that you can do your job while being a little lazier and being busy with your life, because you want to increase the level of comfort of you while decreasing complexity in logistics, are going to be increased. And now the platform will be going global. When the platform goes global, it means that you, as an international organization, for instance, will be able to work in multi-currencies. So you'll be able to operate the platform in Holland, in Germany, in Morocco, in South Africa, and many different places. Secondly, you will have opportunities to do tenders. Tenders are very complicated for logistics people, so now you will have an opportunity to do it inside the platform. And and it will be a highly enhanced user experience and shippers experience, which is one of the enablers for our growth. So I can only tell you, when we started the race, there were multiple people who were stakeholders. So I know that there were a lot of Americans trying to enter the European market. Nowadays, they are busy in America and not in the European market. There were a lot of young entrepreneurs who studied digitization, who wanted to enter to the logistics and disrupt it, and they wanted to go to many different places in Africa, Asia. Now they're busy with other things. And our conviction was that if we bring our 250 years of logistics experience and we connect it with technology, then our platform will be much more powerful than if we just bring the technology and try to learn logistics. And that is really what we're putting into place. So therefore, I would like to thank and congratulate all of our teams sitting in Germany, the developers that have been working on it, all the people who are operating the system in the Middle East, in Africa, in Germany, in Holland, our sister companies in Thailand, in Singapore. You know, now it's really becoming a global play. So, and I want us to remember that the ambition of DHL, which is the power behind Saloodo, is to become the logistics company of the world. And we want to become the digital platform for logistics in the world. And that is really our aspiration. So thanks for helping us, and I hope you enjoy the event.
Thank you, Amadou. Well, I think very well put, and also thank you, Uwe Brinks, once again, coming to the studio and celebrating this milestone with us together. So, and now I have the pleasure to welcome Elaine Tan, our CTO of Saloodo, here on stage with me. And Elaine is responsible for the development of the digital global platform. Hello, Elaine.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, everyone.
So, you have been with Saloodo since the beginning. Actually, together with Amadou, you have started this journey. And now you have developed this digital platform on a global scale. How exciting is this launch event today for you?
Yeah, it's really tremendously exciting. I mean, it's almost even surreal to be here. You know, I mean, listening to also what Amadou and Uwe just shared, it really makes me immensely proud. You know, of the journey that we've come on, you know, launching in Germany in 2017. You know, at that time, really kind of focusing a lot on the procurement process and the inefficiencies of that in the market. And then in 2019, when we were planning to roll out across the Middle East and Africa, and then we decided, okay, you know, we launched a separate platform because we wanted to learn quickly about the local market needs. So, you know, once we started to observe in the last year a lot of converging requests for customers and carriers and operational solutions, we decided that it was time for us to merge the learnings of the platform of the regions on a single platform, so that all regions can benefit from it. So it has been, and really kind of the team really put in a lot of effort in the last months, and I'm really proud to be here and yeah, and to show you guys at least a little snippet of what we have been working on.
And that is exactly what we are going to do now, because I think you've heard already so many good things, and I think you will be also quite excited to see when Elaine is going to show us what the platform looks like. And now, Elaine, over to you. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you guys a user experience of a shipper. So one of a customer who's based in Germany that we started recently working with this year. So this customer has regular trade lanes, regular shipments. He does a lot of also cross-regional shipments, mainly from Turkey into Europe. So I'm just going to show you now, starting on his journey from creating a shipment. Now, I just want to also let you guys know, there are many ways that shippers can actually interact with Saloodo. They can, you know, connect with us via APIs with their own systems. They can basically provide Excel uploads. But I'm just going to show you guys now, for the sake of this demo, how he can do it on the platform. So because he already has regular trade lanes and shipments, we want to make it really easy for customers now, in just a matter of 4 clicks, that he can enter and create his shipment request. In this case, he has a shipment from Ankara to Budapest. So all information about the pickup and drop-off locations, even information of loading and unloading equipment at the sites to make sure that the trucks arrive with the proper equipment. For transport items, he can choose basically from pallets, boxes, you know, even rolls and barrels. In this case, he's going to do 2 truckloads, 2 full curtain siders, dimensions are already entered. If he wants to enter any more information about scalability or dangerous goods, he could. He can also add more transport items, but in this case, just for the example here, I'll show you. He can put in his pickup time. He can select a date or a range of dates. Same for his drop-off. He can add additional instructions for the carrier. And he can also include his internal reference IDs that will be included in the invoice that we will send to him. Now, he has an overview of his shipment before he posts it. And so in 4 clicks, he creates a shipment request. So then he has an overview of all the requests that he's expecting offers from. So you have requests from different trade lanes, different types of shipments, and also in cases where he actually has a contracted rate with Saloodo for his for the trade lanes where he ships more regularly, where he wants to have stable, competitive rates, he can book it immediately now on Saloodo. For those where he has ad hoc shipments, where he doesn't have contracted rates, Saloodo continues to recommend him an estimated price, which is based on offers and deals that has been done on the platform in the last times. So now, he can look at his Saloodo contracted rate, which he can book immediately, but he also can receive offers from verified carriers on Saloodo. So in this case, he can easily compare his contracted rate, which has the validity to the end of this year, and he sees now here actually a rate which actually even matches exactly his required time and pickup time and drop-off time, which is actually 100 euros cheaper. Even though his contract partner is Saloodo, he can of course have more information about the carrier that is verified by Saloodo so that he can have more trust of handing over his goods to this carrier. And now with a click, he books it. He can confirm his order. Here from his address book, with another click, he can enter the consignor and consignee contact details to make sure that if there's any exceptions that happen during the transportation, that we can easily get in contact with him. And save. So now he can save, at the same time also now see all the shipments that he has booked and has an overview of all the statuses of the shipments. You can basically see from the moment he books it, the time the carrier assigns the drivers, when the carrier updates the pickup, or even when they give information about any delays, he sees it on his dashboard. From the time a carrier uploads the POD and the shipper confirms it, he can also access all his documentation like invoices and PODs on the same dashboard. So now just fast forwarding to the time of the pickup for the shipment that we just created and booked. Going into the details of it, he has all the information of his shipment in one place, including the pickup times and also information about the drivers, their phone numbers, and their license plate numbers. Now, I'm going to go into the next flow now, which is for the carrier. And this part I'm really excited to show you guys because it's a new way of how carriers can actually interact with Saloodo. So there are also various ways of how carriers can interact with Saloodo at the moment. They can either do it directly on the Saloodo platform. We can have connections also directly with their TMS systems, or they can give us rate cards, which we can then bid and make offers on behalf of them automatically. But in this case, we decided in summer this year that we wanted to create more opportunities to engage with carriers via applications that they already use often. And so we decided to test it with WhatsApp. And we saw from summer and the time that we implemented it in Middle East and Africa that some of the countries were increasing the carrier offers by up to 30%. So we're very excited to also bring this to the global platform, and I want to show you guys now how a flow could look like. So what you now see in the screen is an example of a carrier who has already set his preferences of the kind of shipments and trade lanes that he wants to receive notifications from on his WhatsApp. And the moment such a shipment is posted, he is notified and he can easily have a look at it. So directly on WhatsApp, he has information about the shipment, the transport type, the location type, date, and all. So there are two ways he can now make an offer. He can either do it directly on WhatsApp by entering the amount and the offer, or he can go straight to the Saloodo platform. In this case, because the carrier is in Turkey, we have a trade lane and a pickup point from Turkey, his currency is in Turkish lira, which is what he set up in his profile. He can easily make his offer per truck, and it's calculated for him for 2 trucks. He confirms the additional requirements that has been specified by the carrier, by the shipper, the times, and the validity date. If he wanted to enter a specific message, he can. If not, he just makes the offer. Now, back on WhatsApp, the moment he gets a booking for his offer, he also sees it now immediately on WhatsApp. There, his offer has been booked. So his next step then, since the pickup is tomorrow, he will need to assign the drivers for this job. He can once again click from his WhatsApp message to the carrier platform on Saloodo and enter his carrier details. Once again, we already have drop-down menus based on his input, previous input. So again, within just 3 clicks, he enters the information about his drivers and submits. Now, similar to what we see on the shipper side, the carrier also has an overview of all the transport jobs that he's working on his carrier platform on Saloodo. He sees immediately from the time that he enters his driver details directly on the carrier platform, and at the same time, in real time, the shipper sees the same. So there are also now various ways of how the carrier can enter the other milestones, whether it's pickup or if there's any delays or drop-off. He can do it, again, directly on the platform. He can do it via the driver app, the Saloodo driver app, or we can also have connections to his transport management systems or track and trace systems so that this is then picked up and we can pick up the GPS and update it automatically. So once we go through the flow of his pickup, his drop-off, he uploads the POD. Once the shipper confirms it, we immediately notify the carrier, and the payment terms then of as quick as 14 days start, and we automatically pay out the carrier. And in his platform, he can also then see all his documents, including transport orders, and all in one place. So I end my demo here. I'm actually really excited. This is really just a snippet of what I can show you guys today. If you guys want to find out more about Saloodo and all the functionalities we have, please register on saloodo.com or ask and get in contact with us. So I'm going to bring Thomas back on stage and invite my colleagues.
Thank you, Elaine. I think this is truly exciting, great work. And so this brings us actually to the part of the importance of operations. So until now, we have seen great features and insightful information around Saloodo about the development of these features that we have brought forward. But what does this mean really from a market perspective? And what are the advantages and what does the global rollout really mean for our Saloodo customers and for those who want to become customers of ours? So I'd like to welcome on stage Anja Kappus, our COO of Saloodo, and of course also the COO of Saloodo in Middle East Africa, Tobias Meyer, who will actually join us with a pre-recorded message. So first I would like to pass it on to my colleague Alice Mösch-Demers. She is actually interviewing Tobias Meyer, and we have pre-recorded this morning in Dubai.
Thank you, Thomas, and welcome everyone here from Dubai. Tobias, a very interesting question. How does Saloodo add value for shippers?
Thank you, Alice, for the question. A warm welcome to everybody from across the globe joining us today. And we are very excited to be part of this global launch event. So how is Saloodo adding value for shippers? Well, the trucking industry is a very, very big industry. It's not really clear the exact amount because there is a lot of third-party suppliers. There's also a lot of companies organizing it themselves, but it's at least a $1 trillion business. So it is really significant, offering millions of people employment and moving big values. Part of the reality, though, in trucking is that we are not using tools to make it as efficient as it can be. According to the World Economic Forum, around 25 to 40% of all the trucks we see on the road are driving empty. And of those trucks who have a load, the utilization level of the truck is typically between 50 to 70%. So if I assume a best case scenario, only 25% of trucks being empty and they are utilized 70%, it will still mean that half of the available capacity is not utilized. So what we try to do using Saloodo is really trying to improve the connection between the demand and the supply, bringing together shippers and carriers so we can better leverage and utilize what is there in the market to make the best use of the assets, generating extra income opportunity for truck owners and drivers, whilst helping to reduce the cost for the shipper. In the end of the day, and I think that's close to my heart as well, it's an irony that within Africa, the proportional cost of logistics in any consumer good you buy in a supermarket is the highest in the world, where the people have the less available income in their countries. So if we find a way to make the whole trucking industry more effective and more efficient, we can serve the whole community, the whole society, helping people to generate more income whilst reducing cost for the people on the ground.
So Saloodo makes road freight more efficient and saves money?
Yes, Alice, it does. So it's really about bringing together the shippers and the carriers, as I mentioned. It really is, if you think of a scenario where somebody just delivered a load, say from where I'm sitting, Dubai, somebody drove to Riyadh, made the delivery, often enough that truck will drive back empty to the UAE. If we now are able to connect this truck driver with a load which has to come back from Riyadh or somewhere close to Riyadh, we can really help drive down the cost, because the extra cost for this movement is close to zero. So even if half of the usual rate would be charged, it would be still a significant saving for the shipper, and it will be an extra income for the carrier. Having said that, though, it's not only about cost, it's also about simplifying the work, making it more efficient. Traditionally, people would meet at places, at marketplaces and others, where physically brokers are looking for truck drivers, where all the documents are handed over, and using a platform means we can move that digitally, which is faster, which is simpler, which is smarter. And in times of COVID, I think we all appreciate that we can minimize the cases where we have social interaction, keeping the risk under control and really making it as seamless as possible and as risk-free as possible to engage for everyone.
Efficient and easy are also keywords of a new Saloodo feature that was already operational for the European market and now comes with the global platform for everyone, the tender function. What is it all about, Tobias?
Thank you, Alice. So the tender function really will help us, especially when we have big corporate customers where we have regular loads on regular routes. So we can go and we can use the platform to tender those businesses in a go. We can then find carriers who will take up the business on a regular basis at very competitive rates. So it gives the carrier security in terms of they have regular loads at known price points. It gives the customer security because they will see what the rates are, and they'll be sure they have the capacity they need. So it's really a great feature. On top of that, and I want to mention that one as well, I'm super happy and super proud that we will benefit from the new user experience. Our European colleagues really have a state-of-the-art user interface. We did have a nice one, but it was very basic, so we really have a huge upgrade there, and I'm pretty sure every user who's on the platform will be very happy to benefit from the new design and the new layout, it's just simply amazing.
Is there a feature that was initially developed for the MEA market and is now available in the global platform?
Well, it's not just one feature. We had a couple of features who we developed and we happily shared. There were things like we had a lot of borders we had to cross. A lot of currencies are required in our part of the world. Real-time tracking, we did a lot. But the key feature for us, where we are super, super proud of, is the WhatsApp feature. What does it mean, WhatsApp feature? The first step we took was really to allow carriers to be able to submit their prices. So when I'm a carrier, I can pre-register trade lanes I am interested in. Whenever there's a shipment posted, I will get an offer in WhatsApp, a notification. I will then reply with my offer for the rate, and then when the shipment is allocated, I will get a message. Hopefully I have been successful. I will get the confirmation that I have been booked, and I can within WhatsApp click on the link and allocate the shipment. Or if I have not been successful this time, I will get a message to advise me that unfortunately I haven't been awarded the shipment, and I'll get the next opportunity as soon as a new shipment is posted. So that's really the key, and for me that's really a fantastic feature, and we are very happy to see that everybody across the globe will be able to use this feature going forward.
Thank you, Tobias. So everyone, as you can see, the user experience for Saloodo is very positive for shippers and carriers from MEA. I'm curious to know if this also applies for the European market. So I give it back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Toby. This is indeed a very, very good question. So, Anja, when you look at the European road freight market, how is it comparable with Middle East Africa, and how does Saloodo add value to our shippers and to our carriers?
Yeah, is it comparable? On the one hand, yes. It is transportation from A to B, like everywhere. And on the other hand, no, markets are completely different. Customers' expectations are completely different. So there are a lot of differences in between. How do we, as Saloodo, gain advantages for the customer? It's on the first thing that we are able to have a solution for small customers, for medium-sized customers, as well as for enterprise customers. And you can see it on the user behavior. A small customer normally uses the user interface. The whole journey of transportation for him is in the platform, whilst a medium-sized customer is not willing to add every day 10, 15 shipments manually on the platform, so he may use the bulk upload functionality. And for an enterprise customer, I would not expect after a trial or test period that he uses our interface in general. I would expect them that they want to work in their own application, because the guys in the office have to switch too often between the screens that they don't want to have another one. So they normally then use the API functionality, send us their shipment requests, receive our offers into their systems, book out of their system, then receive these status messages after booking. They can have the invoice, the PODs directly via API into their own systems. And a second very important point is that marketplace functionality in general. This means the shipper can decide what carrier he chooses, what carrier he selects. And what we see after these years is that it's not often the cheapest ones. The shipper selects between the lead times, maybe they select the fastest ones, or they select also on the carrier's reputation. So it's a mix of all, and it's individual per customer. What is the reason to choose a carrier? But at the end of the day, each shipper has one contact partner, and this is Saloodo, and also at the end one contract partner, and this means a high advantage of saving admin effort. We know all, I think, what it means in behind to implement a new carrier, a new customer in our administration system. So if you have the ability to choose between 10 different and just have one admin partner, this is a good thing. And as third main advantages on Saloodo, I see that we offer all type of products. So you can use Saloodo for grouped shipments, you can use Saloodo for part load shipments, as well as for FTL shipments. So over the whole transportation market, we have solutions for all types of shipments.
Great. Well, Anja, Saloodo is known that we actually challenge the status quo in logistics. And which of the new features of the platform do you think are the most relevant for the European logistic market?
From the new features, I have 3 on my list. And the first one is my personal favor. Because from now on, I don't have to go to the customers and tell them, yes, Saloodo is a solution for all countries within the European Union. No, from now on, as we have the global platform, we are also able to provide transportation to Switzerland, to Norway, or as Elaine has had in her example, from Turkey to Bucharest. Yeah, it's now we have the footprint within whole Europe, and this is a great news. And as the second part, I have a feature that is mainly interesting for bigger FTL customers, and this is the convoy functionality. And also Elaine shared it in her example. If you have 2 trucks from Ankara to Budapest, you can put it in one shipment. So I see this as an interesting feature for our bigger customers in combination with the tender functionality. So this is completely new and will help us to find new solutions. And last but not least, Toby told about it. It's that great WhatsApp feature. I saw it growing in the Middle East African part, and I saw the carrier's experience. I saw the carrier, how they were attracted, how they accepted that feature. And I'm very proud that we can share it now with our customers and carriers in Europe.
So you mentioned the WhatsApp feature. I think really a great highlight here. So the WhatsApp functionality is intended for self-employed carriers. But what are the advantages for carriers in general when they use Saloodo?
I don't see it just as an advantage for self-employed carriers. I know, and I'm very close to a lot of carriers that, the bosses, the chiefs are very busy, very often on the road, and I'm curious, I think they will use that feature as well. So it's not just the self-employed carrier. I think we will have a much higher usage of also medium-sized carriers. Yeah, main advantages for carriers in general, and Toby also told it in his speech. It's that we avoid half-empty trucks, and that we avoid empty runs. This is the umbrella in general. And I see it not just in that traditional part load, full truck load business, where we help to fill the trucks, where we help to find the connection load after the unloading. I see it as well in the networks. We have a lot of networks connected with Saloodo, and we are a simple solution to fill the line hauls, to fill the pickup, the delivery trips. It's a very good solution to fill these gaps. And a second part is that I see this rate card functionality growing, because it's same like on the shipper side. Guys have a very lot of screens open. They have to switch between the screens. They want to avoid to open another screen. So we have that rate card functionality where the carrier can offer without being present on the platform. Yeah, and it's also a thing that we see that if an offer is made fast, the carrier may be selected first. Yeah, the speed of the offers becomes more and more important on the platform. And yeah, last but not least, I see Saloodo as a full year solution. So it's not just that we can help filling the gaps in the after Christmas season or in the summer break. With our three main parts that we have, that ad hoc business, that we have that frequent business on our platform, we see more and more recurring shipments, and that we also have this fixed lane with our tender functionalities. We can be and we are the solution for the carrier over the whole year.
Great, Anja. Thank you for the insight. And also thank you to Toby for your view on the advantages of the most global platform in road freight so far. So you will stay with us, and we are coming now to your questions, ladies and gentlemen, on the screen. And for the upcoming Q&A session, I would also like Elaine coming here on the stage. Elaine, please. And of course, we have live from Middle East Africa, Toby joining us. Hi, Toby.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Anja.
Hey, Toby.
So you all on the screen can send us your questions to the studio. Some of you have already done this. So just once more, type your questions on the right-hand side of your screen. We would also appreciate if you could state the name and maybe the company you're working for. And but of course, you don't have to. We're happy to answer as many questions as we can. We have already seen that we received quite some questions, and we will do our very best to actually work our way through all these questions. So, as I said, we already have the first questions, and I have to say the first question is from Martin from Deep Star Growth. What do you think about the current COVID situation regarding the global Saloodo project? I think that is, from a development perspective, I think Elaine is best suited to answer that, and then I will hand over to our operational colleagues. Elaine.
Well, I mean, if we started about how we started working on it, it definitely was challenging because, it was such a large scope of the project, and also then bringing the teams together, to then align to work. So, I mean, and everybody, sometimes it's just a lot easier kind of face-to-face and being in the office and working together. But, we had to stay home to keep everybody safe. But we managed it, and as you can see now, the result, we delivered it. And I mean, the whole team is very proud. Tired, but proud.
Yes. So maybe, Anja.
Yeah, from the transportation perspective, it was in the beginning, unsecurity. What lines are open? What can we do? That was in the beginning, that Italy topic, where we had a lot of requests for Italy. We're not sure, can we deliver? Can we bring the carriers? But I think it was, in that case, it was an advantage because we found carriers. The carriers were open. The carriers helped us. And and what we saw is it's a complete change in the customer structure at that time. We became much more customers from online platforms that raised from 0 to 100. They were searching for transport opportunities. They found solutions with us. So it was completely new and a completely change also in the business.
Toby, the COVID situation is also very, very challenging for Middle East Africa. I mean, you're facing there specific topics. So your perspective on this question?
Yeah, I think we were a bit lucky because in February we launched Kuwait, and we had the luck of having Elaine with us at the time. It was like the last travel I actually did this year. And we had a workshop to discuss about the platform developments, which I think then proved gold when COVID hit. And we discussed here in the region how we want to use the COVID time, whether we stop the expansion or whether we actually accelerate it. And we went for the latter. We really pushed the rollout. We did it faster than initially planned. I think one of the key benefits is really the avoiding the social contact and doing as much as possible in a virtual way. And on top here in the region, a consequence of COVID was that we saw a lot of borders closing down. So for example, Saudi, which is a key country for any movements in the GCC from Dubai, UAE, Oman to Kuwait and other places was pretty much closed except for food and pharmaceuticals, which impacted us. We had same issues between Kenya and Uganda, South Africa borders. So we saw a lot of these things happening, and then having a digital tool where you can easily connect and keep the shippers updated, connect with the carriers. Today, there's an information that this border is now closed. It was really, really helpful to be fully digital, and we really, I think, yielded the benefits of the platform.
Great. Yeah. So the next question actually is from Reshma from Kenya. Does Saloodo allow for upfront payments to carriers? So since this question comes from Middle East Africa, from Kenya, Toby, do you want to go first?
Just continue. Yeah, so in principle, Saloodo offers preferential payment terms. I think Anja mentioned 14 days, I think it is in Europe. It's the same for us. We want to help carriers, drive the change, and that's why we generally offer improved payment terms versus what DHL would do as a standard. I know in some markets like in East Africa, especially with the situation I just described, where all the traffic from the port in Mombasa to Kampala, Entebbe, Uganda, Rwanda, and other places, only happened on a upfront basis. So we are open to that. It depends a bit country by country of what the situation in the market is. But we can always sit down and discuss and find suitable solutions, especially having a mid to long-term perspective in mind.
Great. So we have one more question, or we have a lot of more questions, but one question which is from an anonymous person, and that is, what are the charges for using Saloodo? And I would like to hand over this question to Anja.
It's very simple. 0. So Saloodo is free of cost for the carrier and free of cost for the shipper as well.
Great. I think that's a really great news for our shippers here. So what is the competitive advantage of Saloodo when we compare to platforms, especially in Eastern Africa, like the Kobo? Toby, any specific view on that?
Yeah, I think we see a lot of startups happening in Africa. I personally see two big advantages. Number one, and that's I think a theme we heard the whole day already, is our connection. So we are not only operating in one market. Many of these platforms operate in single markets. The reality is it is pretty difficult for African companies to open subsidiaries and to expand within the region. We are already there and we are connecting all the clusters. So we are really not only a country platform, but we are a true African platform. And our ambition at the end of the day is to connect Cairo in the northeast with Tangier in the northwest, with Cape Town in the south, and really provide a seamless network there. The second big advantage we have is that, as I think Thomas, you mentioned before, or Amadou mentioned, we know logistics. Our people are working in logistics for years and decades. And we added the technology aspect on top. So many other competitors, they have very good tech people. I mean, if you take East Africa, Nairobi is definitely a tech hub. Yeah, there's a lot of development happening. It's almost like a Silicon Valley in Africa. However, many of these people don't have the experience we have in logistics. So we have the unique combination of logistic experience, of the DHL power, and of the technology. And I think that's really what makes us unique.
Great. So next question from, I believe this is Frank. I'm working for a global provider of toys. Where do you see the benefit in your portal due to the opponents, or compared to the opponents which are operating for more than 10 years? So I think just from my perspective on this one, when you look at this, I think the key success factor of Saloodo is really kind of that we combine the best of our old world logistics. That means having the feet on the ground and having the operations in place, and combine this via a technology platform with a lot of carriers and giving the possibility to seamlessly connect with data standards and different APIs to connect to our systems. So I think we take the best out of the old world, combine it with the best of the new world, and this is really which makes the difference. Anybody want to add something here? I think.
Perfectly.
Good. So, and then we have another question from Philip from Berlin. What is the difference between Saloodo solution and a TMS? So, Elaine.
So Saloodo is as a digital freight platform. We offer we focus a lot on the procurement part. So traditional TMSs, we usually focus a lot more on the dispatching part of it, on transport planning, on reporting, and a lot more so also for internal users. While for Saloodo, we offer, also a free user interface for shippers to connect directly with carriers. And also, I think the main thing also around then that procurement process is that for traditional TMSs, the whole negotiation of, between the dispatcher and carriers are a lot of times done offline, right? Via the phone and still via emails, sometimes even fax. Yeah. So it means that there's still a lot of manual and offline discussions, and then so the data quality is not usually a big focus of traditional TMSs, which is then different from Saloodo, which we try to keep everything online, which means we also have the data online, and then that's where we also harness the power of the data to be able to then apply certain data science techniques to be able to predict prices, for shippers, also to optimize inefficiencies to help carriers with load to truck matching. And I want to see that also going forward next year, as we also get more GPS information to also do more for route optimization to again increase more, improve the inefficiencies.
I would also say Saloodo starts where the TMS ends, and the one main feature on Saloodo is that the data quality is much higher. Yeah. That is very often a problem in the TMSs, that the data quality given is not good in unloading times, loading surroundings. So this is often missing. And also Saloodo starts where the TMS ends. We give it to the market in our system directly, and we receive the information from the market back in the system. Yeah. So this is a very good thing, the combination TMS with Saloodo.
Exactly. So it's not to say that Saloodo is versus a TMS. We actually work a lot with connecting with TMSs to facilitate also the common workflow for our customers, for our customers and carriers.
I think we have one question from Alexei from Schlumberger. Good day. Please elaborate more on how you make sure that the rates are competitive compared to open market quotes.
Maybe I can start, because it is not always the competitive rate that is in front. It's what is the expectation of the customer at the end, entering the shipment. Is it the price? Is it the time? Is it the carrier reputation? So this is what I meant in my statement before. What we see is that it's not always the cheapest one booked. It's not always the fastest one booked. But we are open for all type of carriers, and the shipper at the end is the one who can select. Is it the price? Is it the time? Or is it the name or the reputation of the carrier? I don't know, Toby, if you have to add something from your perspective.
Yeah, being in an area where oil and gas is important, I think what I can say is, number one, we are open to agree on rate card models and fix the pricing. And I think we were talking about the tender functionality before, which we can then use to back it up. It really depends a bit on what you want to do. When you have an ad hoc shipment, as we discussed, we have the classic auction model, if you wish. You can enter the shipment and you get the best rates available in the market. There is the competitive edge. We always ensure and push that we have a certain number of offers received, which then ensures you get the best rates. Clearly here in our region, we have typically, I would say, first half of the month, demand is a bit lower, capacity is available, price points are lower. Yeah, and then if it comes to month-end closing, then capacity gets tight, prices go up. So that really depends a bit on your agenda and know a lot of the big enterprise customers, they prefer to have set rates, rate cards for a quarter, for half a year, for a year. And we are more than happy to accommodate that and give you the security on the pricing side.
Same on our side, yeah.
Very good. So another anonymous question is, how about the customs procedure for cross-border transportation? Toby, you have a lot of countries where actually cross-border transportation is really key. So I handed this over to you.
And that, again, I mean, that's goes back to the question we had before. We are powered by DHL. We work very closely with our colleagues from Global Forwarding who have customs specialists in every country. So they don't only organize the trucking, but they also organize the whole air freight and ocean freight distributions. We can tap into their expertise, and we can always, link up and create a package between the trucking and the customs clearance. So the normal thing happening on the platform itself is the freight. However, if the customer has a requirement, we can always add the customs to the mix, and that's for us actually pretty easy. And typically, especially if it's regular traffic, we align with the customer, define the requirements, and set everything up, and then it works very seamlessly.
Great. Anja, you've mentioned that we actually are now, with the new platform, are able to actually serve also countries outside of the European Union, for example, Norway, Turkey, Switzerland. So how are you handling this on a European scale?
Yeah, for the start, we open the borders, we open the entering of the shipments, the carriers to be able to offer on these shipments. We are not doing the customs on our own. We have a partner, or we use a partner. This is Gerlach, where we link on if a customer doesn't do the customs by himself. We support with the connection to Gerlach, and this will be also one of the features we are offering next year with our Advantage services. We will integrate additional services into our platform. This means not just customs connection. This means as well that we offer then express services or insurance services or things like that.
Great. So one very interesting question. So from Theodore, I understand that Saloodo is active in more than 50 countries. What happens if a customer wants to order a transport to a country where Saloodo is currently not active? So basically a shipment from one to the other country where we are not active. Anja.
Yeah, we had that experience in the past, in the start, We had not the shipments to all countries in the beginning. The normal way we then go out is that we try to connect to the carrier market, that we try to find a network cooperation partner, that we do it step by step. I think in this part we are not different from a traditional forwarder. We check out that we have the partner for the partner, that we have that balance in loads to carrier availability.
And also, on the platform, if we are not operating in the country, the customer won't be able to actually select the trade lane. So if you do have a trade lane that you don't see on the platform, then just please reach out to our customer service or to our sales team, and then we can have the discussion on how to set it up.
The technical part, administration part. So I think these are the first steps that we do it in the platform, and then in parallel we try to open then the carrier market.
Very good. So thanks Toby, thank you Elaine and Anja of giving us these insights on our new global platform. Of course, also thanks to Uwe and Amadou for joining earlier and celebrating with us this special moment. Thank you to all the viewers around the world, to our shippers, to our customers, our carriers, and all the Saloodo friends who are out there and who joined us today for our Saloodo Global Launch event. We have shown you the benefits which the new platform brings to you and how you can actually accelerate your business by using Saloodo. So we hope to welcome you to the most international digital freight platform very soon. And those of you who have not done business with us, we of course are very excited to give you a warm welcome. But there's of course one more last thing. and let's officially launch the Saloodo global platform. And so everything is prepared, and I just would say 3, 2, 1, go. Great, excellent. So thank you, everybody. I think it's a great milestone which we have achieved. Thank you to the whole team of Saloodo. Great work, and we will push forward to make the transportation even easier in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.